Welcome to Serious Data Solutions. My name's Malcolm Chisholm. Today, I want to talk about the ways in which data governance can respond in a practical fashion to the Covid-19 crisis. I think we've all been affected by this crisis, and while it's true that it is a health crisis, it's also generated an economic crisis. And that is what I'd like to focus on, and to give or suggest some practical ways in which data governance might help. Now, of course, I think we've all learnt that data is extremely important for public health and epidemiology. In fact, I heard Dr. Fauci of the United States Centers for Disease Control say the other day, and perhaps I'm paraphrasing him, but he said something to the effect that actual data trumps all the models you can have. We'll look at the role of data in this health crisis another time, because that's a little controversial. For today, we're going to focus on the economic impact, and the economy has suffered a tremendous exogenous shock as a result of the non-pharmacological interventions, the MPIs, that have been necessary to control the health crisis. In crises like this, we're all here to help. Data governance also has to help. The way to think about this is that we're not here to profit from the situation. We're not even here to just seem to be relevant to try to survive the situation so that we can go back to business as usual after it's over. We have to find practical ways in which we can genuinely help the organizations we work for and the communities we live in. So what are the ways in which data governance can help? Well, before we get to that, I think we can all agree that the sudden move to a lockdown and working from home took many organizations by surprise. Fortunately, the technology was available for rapid adoption to enable remote working, even though it had not formed part of traditional disaster recovery and business continuity planning. And that helps us, I think, understand a little bit in terms of how data governance can help today. Normally, data governance is focused on areas such as increasing revenue or better attaining enterprise goals. Those kinds of things are probably not relevant in terms of way data governance can help today. Also, data governance focuses on improving efficiency, attaining operational excellence. That might be relevant today, but process re-engineering, which is what it implies, takes time. So then we come to risk mitigation. And here, I think, is where we should focus. Data governance can help identify and plan for emerging risks, or risks that are likely to emerge. And it's quite urgent now because we don't want things to get worse. So focusing on risk mitigation is a way in which data governance can help practically. And here are 5 practical ways that we can address it. First, we can create data competency matrices. So for each person that works closely with data, we can find out what data they work with, what data processes they're a key part of, what data they have expert knowledge of, and what data-centric tools and data-centric methodologies they're skilled at and what level those skills are. So this will help if a person is incapacitated, unfortunately. We can perhaps find somebody else who can step into the gap, at least temporarily. A second way in which data governance can help practically is with high-level data lineage. Data sets are shared between business units and applications. Now, these are not simply corporate applications, but they may also be end-user computing applications, which are less easy to understand. In talking about data lineage, I want to emphasize I'm not talking about column-to-column data flows, but rather trying to get a picture of the enterprise's data supply chain, which is at a much higher level. If we understand that data supply chain, we can think about what the effects are if some of the processes are degraded or stop working, who would be impacted and what we can do about it, and we can plan for that. Doing high-level data lineage does imply having a good taxonomy of data, but we don't have to wait for that. Let's get started with what we have. The third practical way in which data governance can help today is with end-user computing, providing guidance about how it should be done. It seems increasingly likely that corporate data will end up on remote endpoints like personal devices. We need to help people in our organizations better manage it. These are corporate data assets. Now, policies take a long time to develop and get approved. Guidance, meaning how to do things, is probably the better way to go. It can be developed quickly, and maybe it could be developed in conjunction with areas like IT or operational risk or strategy. And it's a good thing to do in general for EUC, for end-user computing. End-user computing, even if it's done on-premise, is risky. So this is a good area to address. If we do this, we're likely to prevent incidents happening because the data, or more data, is now on these remote endpoints. The fourth practical way is to be proactive in helping people with their data needs. Working from home, working remotely, is likely to lead to issues around data management. Those issues are going to, or may stand a chance of, falling through the cracks. They might not be easily understood or easily prioritized by IT, for instance. If data governance can reach out to individuals and check if they've got any data issues and actually help coordinate the solutions to those data issues, it's going to make the new operational environment run a lot smoother, and again, will be mitigating a lot of risk. Finally, we have the opportunity to increase data literacy. Now, this is not directly related to risk mitigation. It's more related to implementing data strategy. With people working more remotely, there are anecdotes that they are getting a lot more done and being a lot more efficient. This is going to open up time windows that perhaps they did not have when they were on premise, and it gives data governance a good opportunity to help people improve their data skills. Now, data literacy is the ability to work with the organization's data and use tools to do that. The actual interpretation of data literacy varies a little bit from enterprise to enterprise. Some enterprises see it in a very specific way. But helping with this outreach and education is going to increase our colleagues' skill levels around data in this difficult time, and it will help them for when the economy does come back again. So that's another practical way in which data governance can help. So those are 5 practical ways in which data governance can help today. In a future episode, we're going to look at planning for when this is all over and thinking about what data governance should be looking at today to get ready for what possibly may be a very new world. So that's everything from me today. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And until we meet again, please stay safe.